This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is the one that everybody wants, me.
Nikki is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Tonight's a little bit different. We have a co-host here, and you've heard her before. You also are going to get an in-person perspective from this individual, and it's Grace. Grace is back to talk Monday Night Raw. She was in attendance in Charlotte for Monday Night Raw. Grace, welcome back to the show, and how are you?
Thanks for having me, and I'm doing good. I'm glad to be back. I love doing the WWE podcast, especially the Raw reviews. I think the Raw reviews, Raw is my favorite show. I like SmackDown, but I think Raw is always kind of, has a special place in my heart, so I'm glad I can be on here and talk about it with you.
And I'm really interested to hear some of your thoughts on this, because you guys got a show that I thought it progressed things nicely. We got a nice return at the very end with basically Nikki going back to her roots on some things. So I'll ask about that in a little bit. But first, I have to ask, coming away from the show, when you're going back to your car, you get back home, what is from an in-person perspective, what is the biggest takeaway from the show that you felt was the most impactful?
If I had to pick one, I would have to think about it for a second. But honestly, whenever I go to a show, I honestly just love hearing the in-person crowd reactions to everything, because it's very interesting to see where the WWE universe is at, where all the fans, what they're thinking about everything, because the reactions when you're in the building sound a lot differently from when they're on TV, at least in my opinion. But most impactful thing,
most memorable, if you want to
memorable
yeah.
The first thing that comes to mind is honestly is probably when Dom compared himself to Eddie Guerrero. To be honest, yeah. I haven't heard the crowd. Oh my God, they take your bottle caps and stuff away from your water, and I was like, I understand why they do that now. I was surprised. The reaction was deafening. It was crazy. And I would say that was the most impactful. And it got a lot more heat, which is, I guess not saying much because he already had a lot, but comparing himself to Eddie Guerrero, that's a bold statement.
It was an awesome statement. Even sitting at home, you guys just drowned him out. It was just such an egotistical D-bag thing to say, and it felt like Triple H concocted it. It felt like it was from the mind of Triple H to use that against the fans with this guy who has been in the ring for, a fraction of the time that Eddie Guerrero did, and of course trying to compare himself or say that not only is he this generation's Eddie Guerrero, but Eddie Guerrero was that generation's Dominic Mysterio. He doubled down on it, and it was brilliant.
Yeah. And also, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to have to put that at number 2, impactful, because I just remembered what actually got me on my feet. I was sitting down and it got me on my feet so quickly. Rhea Ripley body slamming Luke Gallows. We were probably a few rows away from the floor seats. So we were behind the announcers, and so they're the floor seats, and then the actual stadium seats were about 3 rows up. And so I could see her slam him onto the ground. And that is a 6'8", 298, some crazy weight guy that she just picked up and slammed on the floor. That got me on my feet.
And what was most impressive about it is that she didn't just toss him quickly.
No.
She looked like she had control of him. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anything like that from any woman in WWE. The strength, anyway. I know Bianca Belair is super strong. Maybe she could do that. But Rhea Ripley's just built different. And to see her do that, yeah.
It's crazy. I wanted to start a women's wrestling chant, like right as soon as I saw that. I was like, women's wrestling.
It was deserving. I mean, look at how far the women have come from being sex objects just not too long ago. From a butterfly divas era, awful, just part of the really a dark time for women's wrestling, I think, all the way to now. To think about that, they main evented WrestleMania, they've done ladder matches, they've done Hell in a Cell matches, they've nearly everything. They have tag titles, and now you have you have Rhea Ripley body slamming a man that's so twice her size, in control of it too. It was awesome. It was a crazy moment. But looking at Rhea Ripley beyond that, how did the crowd react to her? She seems to kind of be the number 2 heat getter in that group. How did the crowd react in person to her?
Yeah, so she definitely had a lot of heat, a lot of boos, but I could pick out a lot of people from the crowd cheering her too. Most of them were women, but just the occasional like, I love you, Rhea, like,
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the boos definitely outweighed that. Definitely probably the second biggest like heat getter in the Judgment Day for sure.
Yeah, she is resurrected herself from being this kind of confused character that we didn't know if we were supposed to boo or cheer after 2 WrestleManias ago, to just being totally comfortable and established in this group that is just, it's such a fun group to watch, but also a group that isn't getting cheered for the most part. It's not like the Roman Reigns and Usos and the whole Bloodline group, where there's a lot of cheers for them in the crowd. It's always mixed. Here, it's all heat. It's all hate for the most part, and it's such a nice thing to see. And Triple H continues to give them victory after victory after victory, and eventually they're gonna run into something that's going to mow them down. But right now, it's AJ Styles and the OC. They aren't going to be the ones to beat them. I very much doubt it. But what was the reaction to AJ and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson just in general in that segment when they went face-to-face with the Judgment Day?
Well, I will say when AJ walked out, he's a North Carolina boy, so when he walked out, one of the biggest pops of the night, along with R-Truth, honestly.
Yes.
Because R-Truth is also from North Carolina. So these hometown boys, they definitely got a big pop. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, right?
Yeah.
They also got a pop. I would assume kind of just since they re-debuted and they were with AJ, so they kind of got a little rub from AJ with his pop. But AJ, for sure, I would say with him coming out, was in the top 5 of the pops of the night. Okay. At least top 3, yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about what I would think is the case. And with the match between Finn and Carl ending with a low blow by Rhea, and that was when the body slam happened. There seemed to be a lot of boos there for Rhea. So anybody that was cheering her and just in shock and awe for her body slamming Luke Gallows, I think was turned the other way when she hit that low blow on Carl Anderson to get Finn the victory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's switch gears a little bit here. You talked about R-Truth. Man, I've always said that R-Truth, if he ever actually committed himself, or at least if WWE committed him to just having even a short title run, the fans would be so on board for this. I'm like a major title. I think they would. R-Truth is so just organically likable. He's so much fun to listen to and watch. And he took on The Miz, but yeah, you mentioned the pop for R-Truth. The crowd really at home it translated. In person, it must have been even more fun to listen to.
We were cracking up. He's so funny too. It's just like, he knows how to get the crowd to laugh also.
Yeah.
But he also knew how to get crowd on their feet because, he brought up North Carolina a bunch on the mic, and they were hype about that. And what I thought was funny, though, is Miz was saying how us hillbillies from Charlotte, North Carolina, and stuff like that made me laugh, just because Charlotte, North Carolina isn't really full of hillbillies. It's probably the most, bougie type kind of city where not a lot of hillbillies live. But I will say where I live in North Carolina, in the outer rims of North Carolina, there are a bunch of hillbillies. So I was like, Charlotte hillbillies doesn't really make sense, but I understand what you're trying to get at with North Carolina.
Yeah, they probably should have rephrased it and said that the state of North Carolinians or whatever. Instead of saying people obviously if you're in the city, it just doesn't fit the narrative. But yeah, I mean, anybody at home, WWE was counting on, well, they're in the South. And the stereotype is everyone from the south of the Mason-Dixon line are all hillbillies. So everyone's sitting on a farm with a piece of straw in their mouth. I mean, that's what they're counting on. But if you look at just even below the surface, that doesn't make sense. You're from Charlotte. It's a city. It's a fairly big city.
It's pretty bougie too.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking off the air about $1 million homes on the north end of the city. Yeah. So very much the opposite. But R-Truth here defeats The Miz with a roll-up. Miz was distracted by Johnny Gargano, who was dressed as Dexter Lumis. Dexter never made an actual appearance on the show, I don't believe. But how did the crowd react, and what did you think about R-Truth beating The Miz and this whole dynamic of Johnny Gargano trying to get The Miz to tell whatever secret he has to the audience, to the fans?
So, I'm going to be honest here. It's going to sound really random, but it has a point. I love dipping dots, all right? And I decided that I didn't really know they were going to have a match. So after they were done with their segment, it went to commercial, and we're like, okay, let's go get Dippin' Dots. And while I was in line for Dippin' Dots, and it was worth it, by the way, I heard the bell ring, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to run back to my seat or anything. It's The Miz. He's great on the mic, but I've seen him wrestle a few times. I think I'm good. And then I came back in on the tail end. I saw on the screen Johnny Gargano dressed like Dexter Lumis. So I assumed he distracted The Miz looking like Dexter, and then R-Truth got the roll up. Is that right?
Yeah, he distracted himself looking like he was dressed. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. But,
okay.
Yep.
That's what I kind of put the dots together. So I was like, okay, well,
pun intended.
I guess.
You put the Dippin' Dots together?
Yeah. But I was like, okay, I wasn't super upset that I missed it or anything, because I strung it together pretty easily what happened. But I think it was smart to have R-Truth take the win, because I think there would have been a tiny little riot if they would have let the hometown boy lose. And The Miz can take it too. Oh, yeah.
I mean, everyone knows what The Miz character is at this point. I mean, he's Teflon. I mean, he could go on a string of 100 losses in a row. It's not going to matter. And, yeah, you're right. R-Truth was beloved by you guys, and it was very, very much obvious. And everyone just has this affection for R-Truth, just inherently, and it's so fun to watch, which is, like I said, I wish they would have given him even like a 1-month title reign. I think it'd be fun as hell to see R-Truth as champion, and I think the crowd would explode if that ever happened. But, yeah, I mean, overall, I think this program is, at first it kind of was silly with Dexter Lumis appearing in random places. He's got that deadpan stare, which is funny. He's done some actually really hilarious things in staring up from the ring and in his own home and just funny places. But now it's gotten a little bit more serious with this secret that The Miz has that he's not revealing. And Johnny Gargano said next week that if he doesn't come clean, that he's going to do it for him. So
yeah. I honestly think it's really smart how they did it, because when Dexter Lumis was first introduced, it was so exciting, and like him going after The Miz, you were like, why? And then you were like, how is he going to show up? So there was a lot of why and hows, and people were kind of just waiting for him to show up every week. And the past couple of weeks, you've kind of gotten to the midpoint where you're like, okay, Dexter's gonna show up, and yeah, like, what will he do? But like, I know he's gonna show up. And so they kind of hit like at least in my opinion, a little bit of a stale point. And now they brought out this secret thing, which has brought you back to the why that I think everyone kind of forgot about, because people were wondering how he's gonna show up every week. So now they brought it back to the why, and it's made it exciting again.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And to me, a why is so important in a story that without a why, I become disinterested, almost regardless of who's fighting one another. And the best example I can give of that current example is Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Now, I've been saying this, and I feel like I'm just talking into the abyss, and no one's echoing me back, which maybe I'm just alone, and that's fine. But Brock Lesnar versus Bobby, what the hell? Does anyone understand why Lashley's attacking Bobby? I mean, the hilarious part with this video package that they showed us was the title of it was The Story. And I'm like, okay, cool. Are they going to add some footage of, Brock sitting in his house and explaining why he did what he did? No, it's just like a general recap of their careers. And I'm like, well, that doesn't tell me anything about the motive here. Like, why? No one said anything. I have a huge problem with that, which is one of the few things I have a problem with what Triple H is doing. So everything else seems to be going pretty well. And I have no problem with these two facing one another, but does the lack of motive bother you? Or maybe it doesn't bother anybody else and it's just two big stars and you're going to get a big smash mouth match?
I mean, I wouldn't say it bothers me, like, because I guess I don't care. Like, this isn't the match on the top of my list or anything, so there being a why, I understand why it would be frustrating. Like, I totally get that. For me, at least, I'm kind of just like, with it. Like, they're two big dudes. They'll go at it. It'll probably be a good match. But I like Bobby Lashley a lot. I don't really care about Brock Lesnar. I know that's like blasphemy. I know he's a big name and a big old dude. But I was shocked when he came back. And he's going to be in a match with no title, because I know they paid out so much money to even have him there. So when I heard he was like the rumors that he might come back, I was like, oh, they're probably not true, because there's no way that they would pay that much money to have him come back for no title. And I assume it's going to be like a grudge thing because Bobby beat him, or no. Wait, who won the Rumble match? Was it him or Bobby? I had to Google that. I mean, I can Google it while you're doing it, because I actually erased that from my mind. Bobby.
Yeah.
I think it was Bobby. Yeah, it was Bobby, because he came into the Rumble. Yeah, Bobby won. And so I guess they're going to go with the grudge match kind of angle, like, you beat me, I guess. But, like I said, it'll be a good match. Hopefully, Bobby doesn't destroy his shoulder again from those German suplexes that happened in their Rumble match. But I am shocked that he's back for a non-title match.
Well, that's how much the Saudi Arabian prince has. It's really, that's what it comes down to. It brought Shawn Michaels out of retirement, for God's sakes, in one of the most memorably bad matches, unfortunately. It brought Goldberg versus Undertaker, a match that we wish we didn't see. It's brought people back that have no business being back. John Cena versus Triple H, for the last time, happened there. I mean, it seems like the Prince is sitting there playing 2K22, and he's like, what matches could I just make happen with as many zeros on a check that it takes? And that's what it is. They've got a godly amount of money that they pay WWE, and I don't blame WWE for taking money. That's their existence. That's their purpose of their existence, is to make money. I get it. But at the same time, for fans, I think it leaves us empty with a lot of stories that happen. And this one, it's just kind of, for me, I want to be excited about it, but it feels like an empty, just heavy-hitting match. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I want more. But we can move on to other things that actually happened here on Raw. Let's talk about Omos. This wasn't on Hulu, and I understand why it wasn't. Obviously, you saw it. You were in person. He won a 4-on-1 handicap match, and he won with his choke bomb. Now, you could make it 20-on-1 at this point, and Omos would win. And I would imagine that it was local talent. Were they just local wrestlers that they brought in?
I assume so. They didn't. I've been to a show where they like introduce them in the ring, and like they sometimes like let them talk on the mic, like when it's at commercial. They didn't do that with these guys. I have this pulled up though. Please listen to these guys' names: Sal, Tom, Adam, and Denny. No offense to anyone who's named any of those names. I'm not making fun of the names. I'm just saying how, like, they sound very, like, generic, like... Sal, Tom, Adam, and Denny are going against Omos, this Nigerian giant.
Oh my god! It sounds like members of the chess club at school. I mean,
it sounds like a comedy, like a sitcom that runs at like 1 a.m. that that no one listens to or like watches. Okay,
That's
I'm
it.
sorry.
Yes.
But yeah, I watched it, and the only thing I was thinking about when I was watching it was I wish I got Dippin' Dots now.
Dippin' Dots seemed to be the bit. I mean, that was the most over thing for you there. I mean, but I have to ask: are they still advertising Dippin' Dots as the ice cream of the future? Is that still their marketing slogan?
I don't.
Because
maybe
I have to
don't
add because
see any signs.
I was like in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. For me, that was like 20 years ago. And I remember them advertising Dippin' Dots as the ice cream of the future. And I remember just a few years ago, I see ice cream of the future. I'm like, so like, is this ever going to happen? I mean, like, can we move on? Is it not now? Like, how much more do you guys need to develop this ice cream? Yeah, exactly. So, in the most overpriced balls of ice cream ever, super frozen.
This is super off topic though, but I think it's important. When I was standing in line to get Dippin' Dots, Austin was my boyfriend. He was getting us something else at some other because we eat a lot, and I'm sitting there, waiting to get my Dippin' Dots, and I look to my right, and Michael Myers just like casually strolled by, and I swear on my life, when I say Michael Myers, I mean Michael Myers, jumpsuit, mask, everything, just strolled by me, and I was like, what is happening right now? I'm at Monday Night Raw. I'm in line for Dippin' Dots. And what? What is happening?
I mean, it's like a week early for Halloween, but I guess based on the latest movie coming out, I don't know, but it's kind of a weird placement, like at a wrestling event.
And then I saw him across the stadium, like when we were watching, and he was just like standing, in front of his seat. And I was like, this has to be documented. Like, am I the only one saying this, or am I like tripping right now, or like what is happening?
Yeah, well, I would not want to. I mean, imagine the people sitting around him. That's just awkward. Like, why come to the arena like that? What are you trying to prove? What are you trying? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Shout out to that dude. Whoever, if you were Michael Myers, I wanted to take a picture with you, but I was kind of shell shocked at what was happening that I couldn't say anything. But shout out to you.
Was he a big man too? Whoever it was, actually fit the bill.
He wasn't over 6. He wasn't over like 6 foot or anything. He was, he was a taller,
big enough that if you actually, went into a dark alley and saw that, you run the other way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Omos won the 4-on-1 handicap match. I'm assuming with zero offense from those local wrestlers. I mean, I'm sure he just steamrolled through everyone, right? And probably.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a few jump on his back, and then he like broke their ribs and stuff. So
yeah,
just the same old handicap matches with Omos.
It's the same thing. I mean, and we're gonna get Omos and Braun Strowman, so that should be fun.
I'm actually excited for that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people aren't, because it's not gonna be the typical match that we see from everybody that seems to be the same style. I'm like, but that's good.
Cares?
It doesn't need to be a quote unquote 5-star classic with suicide dives from these guys. I mean, like I don't need moonsaults and super kicks with every damn match. Like Omos and Braun Strowman's just going to be a slow, methodical, and I like that. It breaks up the pacing of every other match that feels the same. So
agreed.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it either. But all right, so let's move on. Elias, this also was not on Hulu, but I caught highlights. Elias took out Chad Gable with his finish called the twisting suplex, and then Otis attacked Elias after the match before Riddle ran in to make the save. So what do you think about this, and I guess your in-person perspective from it as well?
So this was my first time like seeing Elias. Like I've seen like old stuff of him and everything, but this was like his first match back. People loved it. I mean, there wasn't like this huge pop or anything. People did really like it, and the match was good. I mean, I feel like almost any match with Chad Gable is like always going to be at least an A. Like, he is so good and he's so fun to watch too. He hit, I think Chad Gable hit I know Elias won with a tornado DDT, but Chad Gable hit a DDT on him at some point in the match, I think, or maybe I'm thinking of another match, but I'm pretty sure he hit a DDT that was insane. And it looked, you don't expect those things to look better in person by any means, because, the TV has a way of making it look good. But it looked so brutal. And yeah, it was a good match. People liked it. And then when Riddle came out, after, that was one of the biggest pops of the night. I would say number 2 or 3. I mean, my eardrums almost burst.
Wow. Yeah, I saw this and it sounded loud, but I'll take your word for it that it was probably louder than what I heard. Riddle is super over. I would argue that, he's been kind of sliding down a little bit, after the whole program was set. It felt like he was just kind of, he felt like a little bit lost. And now maybe he has a bit of a hold me over program until if Randy Orton comes back. I guess there's rumors he may not, who knows. But yeah, Riddle getting that pop there, I'm not surprised. So you guys were totally on board from start to finish with Riddle and him making the save here. It sounded like there was nobody booing Riddle, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't cheering or booing because Riddle's kind of gotten on my nerves the past month or so. But yeah, other people seem to very much enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I think Riddle just kind of needs to lay low a little bit. I'm with you. He kind of has, for me especially, gotten a little bit under my skin, and especially last week, interrupting Elias, and he didn't do great last week, and I'm ready for a break from Riddle. I'm with you. Like, I feel like I need him to just disappear for a month, and find himself, not just be there every week. For me, I need a break. Yeah. I'm
just kind of like tired of the RKOs and the, trying to be like Randy and pull off the moves and stuff. Like, I get it. They are a tag team or were whatever, but I don't know, it's kind of getting old. It's like, okay, well, those aren't your moves though. Like, I understand it's an homage, but come on, like, let's get something new. You've been doing the same stuff. It just seems like a repeat, but I don't dislike Riddle by any means. I'm just kind of getting annoyed with him. I mean, this is probably a super unpopular opinion, but I would take Austin Theory over Matt Riddle.
Ooh.
I think he could run circles around him on the mic. And I think when it comes to in-ring skill, it's closer, but I think Austin Theory is a little bit above. And Matt Riddle's insane in the ring. That's not saying anything to him. I'm just saying that I think Austin Theory is a little bit above him in that category, at least.
I can't say that's outlandish. I mean, I'm sure some people are saying, well, are you kidding me? And I'm like,
people would hate that.
But here's the thing. Riddle has gotten a chance. We kind of know right now what we have with Riddle. We've seen a pretty good sample size with Riddle. He's been with Randy Orton. That really skyrocketed his career. With our current Money in the Bank briefcase holder of Austin Theory, we really don't know what we have yet. And I kind of see what Vince saw with his skill on the mic is way ahead what it should be based on his age. I mean, he should not be as good as he is on the microphone. In the ring, he is, I don't know if I'd put him, it's hard to say against Riddle. That's debatable in ring performance wise, but I also like the facial hair that he's grown. I like that Theory has decided to man up a little bit and grow facial hair. Not to say that everyone needs to be clean shaved, but some people just look better with beards, and it just instantly makes them look, I don't know, more masculine, however you want to phrase it. I just like what the facial hair is a nice little touch for Austin Theory, just continuing to change and evolve a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's not outlandish to me. It really isn't. Yeah.
Let me be clear. I agree. Like, the mic thing, I'm serious on. He could run circles around him any day on the mic. In ring, I think they're neck and neck, but I think Austin Theory is just a little bit above, and I think that has to do with Riddle does the same stuff, or he has been, just with the Randy stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, we get it. You teamed with Randy, and you miss him and everything, but like, let's see let's see some more stuff. And Austin Theory, I think, is just a tiny bit above because every time he gets in the ring, it's like, oh my God, where did you get that? Where did that come from? What? You know?
And I also, to the point about Randy Orton's moves being hijacked by Riddle, it really also, I think, is starting to negatively affect him a little bit because you'll never do the RKO. As skilled as Riddle is, you're never going to hit it or make it look exactly like Randy Orton. So people who have seen it 1,000 times and love the way he delivers it, Randy Orton does, you're going to always think in your mind, well, that's not quite how Randy Orton does it. It's kind of like with Kevin Owens taking the stunner. As beloved as that stunner is, it's not quite the way Stone Cold delivers it. It's not going to be the original. And when you're not the original, you look like a knockoff. I don't know. I get what you're saying. It almost is. It is a little bit of a negative aspect to him, despite the fact that he's using it to bolster himself. I think he's reached a point. Just, dude, get your own stuff. You know, I'm with you. All right, I want to move on a little bit and talk about a segment that kind of carried through multiple segments with JBL. And I questioned last week if JBL's there as a one-off to try to get Baron Corbin back over, or if he's going to be a mainstay in some kind of managerial role. And I think we now have our answer. He's here this week. And he, for some reason, decides that Baron Corbin, out of all the people on the roster, is the right one to get behind, despite how he's kind of, as Johnny Gargano said, kind of boring Corbin right now. And he is. I like how Corbin was called out by Gargano backstage saying, I don't know who you are. Are you Happy Corbin? Are you Constable Corbin? Are you the Lone Wolf? Are you, like, what are you? And Baron Corbin didn't really have much to say, but JBL did, basically putting down Gargano. And JBL, throughout commentary, I know you didn't hear it, but he kept harping on the single A ball, making baseball references from single A, double A, triple A in the majors. Like, he kept referencing and putting down the independent scene for wrestling, which he's been known to do throughout his entire career, and he believes that truly. It's not a character thing. So, I don't know, he kept harping on single A. He's from single A. He's from single A. I was a bit over it, but, you know, I don't know if I like this pairing with Corbin and JBL yet. To me, the jury's still out. It's still kind of an awkward mix for me, but how did you and the crowd take this match between Corbin and Gargano and really the whole JBL segment in general?
So I enjoyed the whole segment like it going into the match. And from an in-person perspective, I would say this Baron Corbin's match and when JBL got on the mic was the loudest boos of the night. And I know the Judgment Day came out and they had a lot of boos, and like a moment wise, the Eddie Guerrero like comparison was probably the loudest like boos I heard, but like moment. But as a whole, JBL and Baron Corbin were getting the crowd heated. JBL got on the mic and was, trash in North Carolina. He first talked about the Panthers, which I don't really care. The Panthers suck, and I'm not a fan of the Panthers, so I didn't really care. But people were heated over that. And then he brought up Michael Jordan, and that's where I drew the line. I was like, all right, you've gone too far. And people were mad. I mean, like, angry. Like, I'm not talking about, like, boo you. No, like, angry. And, I mean, when Baron Corbin was in the match, like, during the match, he did such a good job. He interacted with the crowd, like, getting up on the ropes and, pointing at people. And every time he went to one side, I could see like that section of the crowd, like whenever he went to that side, get up on their feet and just start like pointing at him and screaming and yelling. And this was during the entire match. Like, he was getting like booed out of the building, and no, in a good way too. Like, it wasn't like, that's his job. He's being a heel. That's great. But definitely as a whole, the loudest boos of the night.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's saying something. It didn't seem that loud to me. I mean, it sounded loud, but not to me the number one boo of the night. I think that speaks volumes to, first of all, JBL's ability to get people to actually hate him. I mean, truly hate him on a like almost a personal level, not even just, he's a heel character, we'll play along. That to me that's a talent. I mean, I don't like JBL on a lot of fronts on a personal level from things I've heard and the whole bullying thing and all that. Like, he doesn't seem like an actual fun human being to be around. He really doesn't. I mean, he just doesn't. Like, I mean, that doesn't mean he didn't have a Hall of Fame career. He did. His run on SmackDown back in 2004, being champion for 10 months. He reinvented himself, and that's credit to him. But just, again, on a personal level, he just seems like somebody I would not want to be around. He seems like that kind of alpha male D-bag jock that you'd see in school. He's I don't know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he just comes across that way, and I believe that's actually who he is to some degree still. Anyway, I think that this pairing, though, with Corbin and JBL, it feels like Corbin doesn't need someone to speak for him. But because I don't think Corbin was that bad on the mic, but maybe that's not the purpose of it. Maybe the purpose of it is to just get some star power to Corbin, to kind of get the rub for Corbin, even though he's been here for a long time. Because Corbin, let's be honest, I think he's underrated, honestly. He's good in the ring. He's good on the mic. He's not outstanding in either, but he's good both there in both aspects. I just don't know what it is. He's missing something. He comes out to just this kind of, I don't even know what music it is now. It's kind of still the Happy Corbin thing, but not really. He doesn't say or do much. He just puts on a good match and leaves. And he won the match here because JBL interfered when the ref was distracted. He hit end of days, and Corbin wins. And I don't know. Like, I still find Corbin a little bit boring, even though JBL is really the one that's the heat getter here. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, how do you feel about this pairing just specifically? Are you on board for this? We're only 2 weeks in, but how do you feel about it? Do you think it's going to work long term?
I mean, I don't mind it as of right now, and I didn't think it was a bad idea when it kind of, you saw that, Baron Corbin was probably going to get a makeover, or not makeover, but like a character makeover, and kind of get changed from Happy Corbin to something else. So that was a little bit exciting when you saw that was going to happen. And now that it has happened, I don't think it's bad by any means. I think they're definitely doing it to get, Baron Corbin get a rub from JBL and get some, heat. And they definitely, as a duo, know how to do that. But yeah, I don't think it's good, like great. And I don't think it's like bad. I think it's okay for now. And I said, I don't think he needed a mouthpiece, like you said, because he was never really bad on the mic. But I think they're more of just doing it for the popularity and stuff and the heat. Yeah.
That's got to be it. It was just such a random, out of nowhere pairing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't know what to make of it yet. It's just kind of there. I think the focus shouldn't be the heat on JBL. It should be on Corbin. Mm-hmm. I mean, JBL's retired.
It is at least from what I saw last night. It is definitely on Baron Corbin, but I'm just glad he's not Happy Corbin anymore, to be honest. I'm glad they got rid of that.
I want bum Corbin. I want the poor, just hapless Corbin who lost it all. That was the most entertaining version of himself I've ever seen.
We got a few of those chants, like the bum blank Corbin chants, like really a couple of loud ones of those, which was kind of driving Baron Corbin to like start yelling at the crowd and stuff, I thought it was great.
The one thing, too, and you didn't hear this because you were obviously in person and not listening to Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves, but there was one point in the match where we had Deep Six get hit by Corbin, and Kevin Patrick called it Ring Around the Rosie, and we had Corey Graves say, he goes, are you serious? He goes, it's Deep Six, not Ring Around the Rosie. And I was glad Corey Graves called him out on that. I'm like, are you seriously referencing like a child's game for a signature move that he just hit because you don't know the name of it? I mean, I'm so glad Corey Graves called him out on that. I mean, he literally said it's Ring Around the Rosie.
Was that on purpose, or was that, do you think that was
I think he just either didn't know or forgot that's the name of his signature. I don't think it was planned. I legitimately think Kevin Patrick, who is just, he just started there a couple weeks ago, just didn't know the name of the move. And Corey Graves is like, dude, it's called Deep Six. I'm like, thank you.
That's rough.
It was, yeah. But other than that, honestly, I think Kevin Patrick's doing a decent job, given how quickly he got shoved in there. Okay, so I want to shift gears again here a little bit to the main event, because.
Quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did we go over Mustafa Ali and Austin Theory?
No, sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, no, you're right. So I'll just hand it to you. What did you think about the match?
When I saw this was going to be a match, I was super excited for it because I was like, these two guys in the ring together, this is going to be insane. And it was a great match. Both of them, I think their movesets work really well with each other. Shockingly, during the match though, this was the quietest match of the night. For sure. Very interesting for it to be the quietest match of the night, because it was a good match. And of course Seth came out, and I mean, Charlotte was hyped the whole show for Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. But when Seth came out, and even during the match, the crowd just started singing Seth's song, during the match. Seth, played into it, being on commentary. And then during the match, we want Seth chants. Yeah. And I was like, yes, let's go,
I was going
to
ask you. I heard that. I'm like, what?
I was so hyped when I was like, no way.
I heard that. I'm like, I haven't heard that since he was a babyface, years and years ago, that a "We Want Seth" chant. I mean, people sing along to his song no matter how hated he is, because the song is very sing-alongable, if that's a word. Yeah, it's just, and it sticks in your head too. Sometimes I'll be going throughout my day and I'm like, whoa, it just sticks in your head. And that's a good thing, but if you're a heel, it's kind of weird that you play sing along with the fans, but whatever. So, when I heard that, I'm like, are they really chanting "We Want Seth"? I mean, Seth ignored it on commentary, as he should, because I don't know how you react to that as a heel.
Oh my gosh.
He ignored it. He didn't say anything, but it was loud and it was audible. And I could hear him like, what are you guys saying?
I don't think I've ever been more proud of my hometown. I was like, yes, I was so excited. I was so happy about that. But I was slightly shocked too. I was like, this is what is happening? But his song also, during the whole show, in the span of it, when he came out to the dark match, because he was in the dark match, was probably sang about almost 10 times.
I was going to ask you about the dark match, and I'll get to that after. Yeah, but okay, so we had Austin Theory and Ali, and you said that the crowd was pretty quiet during this, which is, I guess I'm a little surprised, but not really, given the fact that neither of them have had major things going on. Ali just got thrust into the Seth Rollins deal, and Theory has been essentially a non-factor since WrestleMania after getting stunned by Stone Cold. In Vince McMahon taking probably the worst stunner of all time, even worse than Linda McMahon in 2005. I mean, it was a god-awful stunner. But since that time, Austin Theory has been essentially a non-factor outside of teasing, cashing in, and he never does. But so that's probably why people they don't have a strong emotional connection yet for either guy. And they knew kind of probably what match it's going to be. It's going to be a very just high-flying affair, very athletic affair, and it was. And having Theory beat Ali was the right move, given that you want to put more heat between Ali and Seth, a match that inevitably is going to happen. And Ali showed some fight. He didn't just lay down. He ended up getting a little bit of revenge on Seth, too. So how'd the crowd react to that? Did they? I don't remember. Did you guys boo when Ali actually got a little bit of offense in on Seth?
I did. No, I think the reaction, so when Mustafa Ali went to go attack Seth, so there was a couple. So when Austin Theory went to go take the selfie in the corner, and then you saw on the phone, Mustafa Ali got up and went and kicked him, that got people were, happy for Ali because he's the babyface. So I think it was kind of just the standard reaction. But then when Mustafa Ali attacked Seth, there wasn't a cheer. him running up to Seth was like when he came back. I'm talking about, so like when Seth was like walking away and then Mustafa like came out of the crowd to like go attack him back. That got more of like it wasn't a cheer, it was more of like a shocked, like a gasp kind of reaction. And then when he was like beating up on Seth, it was there was like, you know, some cheers here and there because he's the babyface, but it didn't really get like a, you know, like a huge reaction.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering, is if you guys like completely just turned Seth babyface last night.
No,
and you just okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, when Seth like went into the crowd, like brought Mustafa Ali into the crowd before Ali came back like and attacked him for that, when he brought him into the crowd, people were cheering for Seth.
Okay, that's okay. That makes sense. All right, so yeah, but you guys were so pro Seth. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I mean, I'm a big Seth fan, and what he's got going on is probably the best work of his career with the character he's finally found himself. And obviously the music is probably unintentionally. You know, I don't think when they came up with this, whoever came up with this, Jim Johnson or whoever's in WWE came up with this, they were like, oh man, the crowd's gonna sing along to this. Because you don't want that to happen as a heel. I mean, that doesn't make sense. So to me, this is it was an accident. They just kind of stepped into this. They fell over it, and now it's become its own monster. So
is Jim Johnson still writing music for WWE?
I thought he still was.
I think. Well, I know Def Rebel made this song for Seth. I didn't know. I didn't even know Jim Johnson was still writing songs. That's great.
I thought he was. He's not exactly a spring chicken anymore, but I thought he was still there. Yeah. Yeah, I really did. Yeah.
No, well, Def Rebel did great stuff with his song. It's on my gym playlist, you know.
Oh, is he really?
No, actually, yeah.
Oh. I believe you. I believe you.
When you need to hit a PR or something, you can turn on Seth's song. It's like, burn it. Yeah, for sure.
There are definitely, whenever we're working out, there is definitely like that song or two that you hit and you're like, all right, I have to do this.
Let's go.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, I actually used to use like Edge's theme song. I love Edge's theme song.
Ooh, Metalingus.
So good. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that does it before we get to the main event, right? Did I miss anything before the main event? Okay. So this, to me, here's what I liked about this. I mean, having the women main event Raw is fun because when you look at all the times that they probably should have and didn't, this is nice. But also, it didn't have to do with the championship. Yes, you had the women's champion involved, but that's not how it was sold to us about this. This was a simple grudge match. And that's what I loved. Because everything for the women, like 90% I should say, that's been going on even since the women's revolution has focused only around the championships. And it's like, what about grudge matches? Can't they just fight one another because, you know, they have a personal problem? And it always has to be around the championship. This was not. And I loved that. I love that they pushed this as a grudge match, and that was really cool. Of course, you know that these two are going to put on a good match, if not great. To me, this wasn't their best, but it was good. It was good. And to me, well, not to me, but to all of us, I think the biggest thing coming out of this is, without saying, Nikki Cross, who comes out, and she's her crazy self again, looks a little bit different with her hair frizzed up and no more silly Nikki ASH garbage. This is straight back to what she used to be, but better to me, of just pure insanity. I mean, that's what she is. She has that great, crazy, natural smile to her. I loved what they did here, having her attack both of them, and Bayley ends up getting the victory here, but that's really kind of beside the point. What did you think of Nikki attacking both of them and really the match itself? Anything else?
All right, so I'm going to go into a long, not rant, but like a story about this match. So when I bought these Raw tickets, I was so excited to, one, see Becky Lynch. And, you know, her not being there was a little bit of a bummer, but it's all right. And I was thinking about this match before we went. And me and Austin were talking about it. We're like, yeah, it's going to be a good match. You know, Bianca versus Bayley. What if Becky came out to help Bianca get the win because Bayley has Dakota and Io, and they're probably going to try to do something, and Becky returns. And I immediately was like, no, I'm not even putting that in my head because I want to enjoy the match. And if that doesn't happen, I will be so disappointed. So I'm not even going to think about that for a second. No, it's not going to happen. I just kept telling myself, nope, don't even think about it. And so the match came, and, you know, everyone loves Bianca. I don't think her pop has gotten any, you know, bigger or smaller at all. I think it's kind of remained the same. I think there was a little bit of a stale point with her a while back before WrestleMania, but with Bayley coming back and her teaming with Becky Lynch and Becky Lynch turning face kind of created a whole new, not perspective, but like a whole new love for her from the people. I think it like extended her babyface run just with WrestleMania. So Bianca, you know, her pop was still the same, and, you know, Bayley got her boos, but there were a few Bayley fans in there. And the match happened. It's a great match. With the same thing with Chad Gable and Bianca. Like, with Bianca, I really don't think you can really get a bad match. Like, she is so freaking athletic that it's kind of inevitable that it's going to be a good match. And like you said, it wasn't their best, but it was good. And, you know, people were doing the EST chants almost the whole match. I heard a few people trying to start Bayley chants, but, you know, they weren't loud enough and people didn't really catch on. So, but at the end, my heart dropped because I saw another person and I didn't really get a full grip of who it was. And I immediately went to Becky Lynch and I almost passed out. And I knew I wasn't the only one because people around me were like, is that Becky? Is that Becky? So that like put a fire underneath me where I was like, holy, it's Becky. Oh my God. And then I saw Nikki and then I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess putting that out of my head for the whole match didn't really help because now I'm still disappointed. So I was confused. I was like, okay, it's not Becky, it's Nikki. But hey, I mean, bright side, Nikki is not Nikki ASH anymore. She's Nikki Cross, which everyone knows is her best character. And she hit, oh my God, who did she hit it on? Was it Bayley or Bianca? She hit the, is it the Sister Abigail?
Yeah, I don't know what is the name of it?
I thought it was called the Sister Abigail, or I don't know. I'm looking on the website and they're calling it the Purge, but I've never heard of that.
No.
So I don't know. But anyways, that happened, and then I think everyone was kind of confused about like what was happening because I heard a lot of like, huh, like what? And then Bayley won. And that was the second time that, like, during a match, I got on my feet, like, besides the Rhea body slam, I got on my feet and I was like, no way she just won. Like, I was actually surprised that Bayley pulled the win.
That was, I mean, yeah, it was weird that Bayley won, but I don't think that, again, when you look back at this, no one's going to remember who won or lost this, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all about Nikki Cross here. I mean, like that was overshadowing any potential win or loss for either of the women. I mean, Bianca Belair and Bayley are far from done with one another. I think that eventually they're going to add a third person. I mean, yes, Nikki's here. Do I think she's going to win the championship? No. I think eventually you're going to get to a Bianca, Bayley, Charlotte, or Bianca, Bayley, Becky trio, triple threat for Rumble or Mania. I really think that that's probably what's going to happen. But there was a lot of speculation as I was reading some of the rumors prior to Raw that Charlotte was going to return to Raw, even though she's a SmackDown star, because of the location of Raw, right? And was there any rumblings of that Charlotte could return, given that you're in Charlotte? I don't know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it on Twitter. I didn't hear while we were in the building. I didn't really hear anything, but on Twitter I saw a bunch of reports saying that and people assuming that she was going to return because it was Charlotte. But just a side note, and this is specifically to people from Charlotte who were at that show, I understand Ric Flair's from Charlotte, guys. Can we chill with the woo chants?
Is that still going on?
Because honestly, I would love to enjoy, where I'm at and like sitting in my seat without hearing woo. Just once. I'm sorry. Like, I've been to other shows and I hear woos, like when you walk into the building, like everyone's wooing.
Yep.
But Charlotte, chill out. Oh my God. I understand. Like, I get it, but stop. Please. Like, you don't have to be that loud with the woos. Like, just tone it down a little bit.
Unfortunately, I think the woos, just like the what chants, are now a part of the fabric of just a wrestling event.
Matt, no, but when I tell you, I've been to 3 other events. These were the loudest woos. I was so, and maybe that's because people heard Charlotte were coming back, so they were like excited. I don't know, but they were so loud, and I don't like them to begin with, just because go Becky Lynch. But
Yep.
And also I dislike Ric Flair so much.
The plane ride from hell didn't help.
Yeah, he's trash. That's gonna make someone mad. But yeah, overall, sorry, back to the match. It was a good match. I was surprised at the ending with Bayley winning and disappointed with Nikki's return, new character, old new character debut, but happy that it happened because, I don't think anyone liked Nikki ASH besides, a 5-year-old.
Like, no, a singular 5-year-old. I mean, like, not even plural. Like, you're talking about just like one. There was like one out there, right? So maybe like her nephew or something. I never liked that Nikki ASH character. From day one, I thought it was just a desperation move. Like, it felt like Nikki had nothing else, and they were like, Nikki, got to come up with something, or we're going to fire you. And she's like, oh, I'll be a superhero. And like that's kind of what it felt like.
Oh my God.
That to me, it was awful. I'm glad she's going back to her roots here. Now, yes, it looks like the previous crazy Nikki, but she hasn't cut a promo yet. She does look not exactly like her previous crazy Nikki. There's some differences there from a visual perspective, but we have no idea what she's going to say yet. We don't even know if she's babyface or heel because she attacked both of them. So, we don't know anything yet, and that's fun. So, yeah, okay, she's going to go back to some version of her crazy self, but we don't know exactly what that is. So, it was funny. When I was watching at home, the announcers, when they were ringside calling the match, they had somebody attack. Was it Bayley or Bianca first? Somebody did a splash onto the entire damage control group, and you couldn't tell. The cameras weren't in a good position to see who exactly was doing this. Like, I didn't know it was Nikki until the very last 10 seconds of Raw. I mean, it because of the way the camera was, and the announcers obviously have to play dumb because they can't say, oh, it's Nikki, yet the fans don't know that yet. So the way that the cameras were and her hair and her face, I didn't know it was Nikki until the very last few seconds.
Yeah, it was. If it was confusing on TV, it was more confusing in person because unless you're ringside, you honestly are a little bit behind on what's happening. But honestly, with Nikki Cross, I would love for them to bring up, I know you don't watch a lot of NXT, but there is a girl named Alba Fire that is Scottish, and she is awesome. And if they could bring her up to the main roster and have her team up with Nikki ASH, oh my God, I just said Nikki.
No, get it out of here.
Nikki Cross.
You're banned. Yeah.
They're both Scottish, and I think they could make a killer tag team because Alba Fire is. Have you ever heard of Kaylee Ray?
I've heard, but I don't know. I've heard the name.
She's been on NXT for forever, with Rhea, Bianca, Io, Dakota.
Oh, yeah.
Dakota. Okay. She's been on there for a long time, and so she changed characters to Alba Fire. So if they brought her up, I think would make a great tag team if they were still trying to help the tag team division.
Well, Triple H has been very not shy about putting teams together and putting factions together. I have not seen in my entire wrestling watching life of 25 years seen this many factions in my life exist at once.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I hate it or love it yet because I've never seen it before. But I mean, there's more heel groups than babyface groups, as there should be. But I don't know. Like, I mean, so your fantasy need may or may not happen because Triple H loves it. I mean, there's a good possibility because that seems to be one of the big things on his agenda was to put a bunch of people together all over the place. And so, yeah, I think it'd be good for the women's tag team division, honestly, because the women's tag team division doesn't seem to be in much of a better place than when Triple H, before he brought it back. It's just, I don't know.
They need to stop pairing people together who are single competitors already on the women's roster. And I think they hit the jackpot with like bringing up NXT women. And if they want to up the tag team division, the women's tag team division, they should bring up NXT people to pair with like a single competitor. I think that'll help them significantly more than pairing two already existing single competitors that are already on the roster.
I think that's, definitely a better idea than just throwing a bunch of individuals who have no chemistry together and calling them a quote-unquote team. I mean, we saw that before WrestleMania. WWE manufactured a women's tag team division, and I and others were like, this tag team division is going to be down to like 2 by the end of April. And sure enough, one by one, those quote unquote teams started just dismantling or just disbanding, or no reasons why they're not together anymore, because they wanted to create the illusion there's a women's tag team division, when in reality there was many months that went by that the tag team champions for the women went unopposed. There was nobody else in the division.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Triple H will make it get to that point, because I think he's a little bit more aware of and cares a little bit more about the women's division, tag team anyway, than Vince did. But time will tell. So you mentioned dark match. So you said Seth Rollins is involved.
Yeah. So okay, one thing before that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You were talking about Bayley and Bianca and Charlotte being in a triple threat in the future. What I think might happen is, so Bianca, I think, will win at the end of this. Like when Bayley and her have their like final, match, Bianca will be on top, and then Becky will return. Becky's going to go into a thing with Bayley because they attacked her, and we haven't really seen, like even in the past, we haven't really seen a lot of Bayley and Becky. Like I know Bayley turned on Becky and she kind of turned heel by like hitting her in the back with a chair with Sasha and stuff, but we haven't really seen a lot of like Bayley versus Becky, because when Bayley got into her heel character, Becky was out having a baby. But I think Becky will start a feud with Bayley, and then Bianca's going to move on to Charlotte at some point. I don't know how that's going to work, but Bianca's end goal before she turns heel at some point, her end goal will be defeating all of the 4 horsewomen. And I think once that happens, that's a crazy accomplishment. And they could go off of that. And that is something that, I mean, as a heel, she could run off of for forever. I mean, that, like, I beat the 4 horsewomen, like, what are you going to do against me? Like, I'm the baddest, I'm the best, whatever she says. As a heel, that's going to be so much fuel to the fire for her. So I think her and Charlotte, she'll be the last horsewoman to defeat. And then she'll basically, she'll have the keys to anything, because that's a big, big feat. And I would love to see Charlotte and Bianca. I mean, you want to talk about 2 athletic women in a match? You're talking about probably the 2 most athletic women on the roster from both brands.
Yeah, that to me, it's the money match. It's the probable WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, because we could have the triple threat, like I said, you could, but the thing is, Becky and Ronda Rousey are probably on a collision course for WrestleMania. That has the one-on-one has to happen. And if you're going to do a one-on-one with the Raw side of things, Bianca versus Charlotte Flair, of course, that does leave a few women out of the equation of possibility, like Alexa Bliss. Where does she fit in? It's unlikely that she's going to be in the main event. But yeah, I love Charlotte and Bianca. And honestly, when you look at it, they probably could have as good of a match as her and Sasha Banks did. at WrestleMania just a couple of years ago. I think there's a strong possibility. To me, Sasha and Bianca, when they had their WrestleMania match a couple of years ago at WrestleMania 37, I thought that was the match of the potential match of the pay-per-view. I mean, it was so good.
Yeah,
it was
so good.
It was amazing. I think it really outdid even the triple threat between Edge and Roman and Daniel Bryan at the time. In a lot of ways. So it was so much fun. And I think Charlotte and Bianca have that ability. They have similar strength. They have a similar style. I think it's ready for the taking for WrestleMania, but I don't know if right off the bat they're going to do it. I think what's going to happen is that at some point in the next 2-3 months, they're going to do a major trade. WWE is going to announce that there's a major trade announcement in the women's division, and Becky's going to SmackDown and Charlotte's going to Raw. That's what they're going to do. Because
kind of like the belt when they had to trade belts. Remember when that?
Yeah, exactly.
Happened?
Yeah. Oh God, that whole debacle. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But that's my take. That's what I think will happen. It'll be a major trade.
Yeah, I agree.
But cool. Well, so yeah, the dark match.
Yeah. So you had two matches that no one really saw. It was the main event and the dark match. So the main event was at the beginning of the show. Main event was Dana Brooke versus Kiana James. But that will be on main event. If y'all have Peacock, y'all can see that. Dana Brooke, by the way, low-key got a decent pop. And I think it was more of a troll, like a kind of like a 24/7 champion, like kind of troll pop. But okay. I mean, people were kind of on their feet. I'm not gonna lie. And Kiana James is a NXT girl. But yeah, so for the dark match, it was Riddle versus Seth. And Seth came out. Everyone, sang a song throughout the whole entire match. I'm trying to think. So Riddle, it was back and forth. Riddle got the upper hand, then Seth got the upper hand. And then Seth, it ended up being a DQ. Seth went for a low blow, I believe, and they rang the bell, and Riddle won. And then, Seth, danced around the ring, and then Riddle gets up and then ends the show basically by RKOing Seth.
Okay.
So I get it. They wanted to leave the crowd happy. I don't know why they had Riddle win, and I know it was by a low blow, so he technically, he was on the mat when he won, Seth was standing when he won, and Riddle was on the mat, but I was like, okay, I guess, okay, so you have Riddle, see, that's what I don't get. They had Riddle win, technically, by DQ, but Seth's the champion. So I was like, I guess it doesn't matter because it's a dark match, or the events that happen in it don't affect anything. But I do understand they had him hit the RKO on Seth, and the crowd was happy because I can't remember when they didn't meet. Okay, yeah, I thought they met earlier in the match or earlier in the night, but they didn't. Riddle during the match tried to hit RKO, and Seth pushed him off and everything, and people wanted to see it, and then Riddle finally landed it after the bell rang, and people left happy.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the nature of dark matches, as you said, right? They're unconsequential, they're exhibition, and it's only for the local crowd. It's just for the people in attendance, so they can do whatever they want. But 99.999% of the time, baby faces are going to come out on top, or at least hit their finish on the heel to make the crowd happy. And yeah, so that sounds about right. That's a decent dark match, I gotta say.
Yeah, no, it was a good dark match. I mean, I was like, oh, Riddle and Seth, this will be good. But I thought it was really funny when Seth came out, Bayley, and then Bayley, Dakota, and Io were walking back, and when they passed each other, Seth, they were all happy to see each other, and Seth was banging his or clanging his belt with the tag team belts and stuff, and I was like, Seth, I know you ain't cheering and celebrating with the women that put your wife out of commission. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's when you think
you cheeseball. I was like, what? Okay. I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Obviously, yeah, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff can happen though. There's no cameras. Like they can do whatever the hell they want. Yeah, but that is kind of funny. Yeah.
No, I think it did get not on camera, but I saw it on Twitter, like a clip of it on Twitter by WWE.
What?
Yeah, if you go to WWE's Twitter, they have a video of like, oh, Seth cheering with the champs or whatever, and I was like, what?
Did
the champs that like almost killed his wife, like aggravated assault.
Right. Yeah, really. That's a bit concerning that they don't see the irony there. Yeah, that's not a good sign. But let me ask, what about Nikki ASA? Oh God, I just did it. Nikki Cross. I'm banning myself from my own show. I'm blaming it on you. You started this. Nikki Cross. When Raw went off the air, she was just kind of standing there and making her crazy face, which is fine, and it was a nice visual. What happened after that? Did she just kind of like walk up the ramp? What did she do?
Yeah, no, she kind of just like I know on TV like she like looked into the camera with like crazy eyes, and then I can't remember if the lights kind of went dim. I don't think they did. I think she just kind of just looked into the camera. Like looked at Bianca on the ground and stuff, and then she kind of just walked out. There wasn't anything like special or anything.
Okay, so she didn't dish out any more punishment to anybody, or,
no.
Okay, didn't say anything on the mic, nothing.
No, nothing.
Okay, all right. So you guys didn't get too much extra on that front, but all right, so cool. That pretty much went through the events of Raw. How about merchandise and things like that? Did you notice a lot of themes of things that people were wearing?
There were a lot of Roman shirts. I think that was probably the superstar I saw the most on merch, like on people, was Roman. Ooh, there was a new Seth Rollins shirt that I wanted so bad, but they ran out of the size I wanted, so I didn't get it. But it was a new shirt that you can only pre-order on WWE's website. Like, it's not available yet, but it was at the merch stand, which I thought was cool. And a lot of people were wearing that new shirt. I think that's the reason I couldn't get the size. Like, it was selling out. And there was, the selection was odd. There was a Alexa Bliss shirt, a Bray Wyatt shirt, a Roman shirt, a KO shirt, a Seth shirt, and there was a Charlotte 316 shirt, but I think those are at every show. And that was it. I was surprised at the selection. I was like, okay, Alexa Bliss. There was no Damage Control shirts, which I thought was odd, because I thought they would at least have them available if they're, because I would have gotten one if they were available, but I thought that was odd. I was like, I wonder why they're like one of the they're like new returns basically, and I wonder why their shirt's not available. But yeah, mostly Roman shirts and a lot of Seth shirts. So that's fitting.
Honorary Use shirts?
Oh, there was I didn't see a lot on people, but that was available, yeah.
Okay, because that's like the number one thing selling right now is that shirt. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But it's so, you don't see too many heels throughout the years in wrestling. You don't see too many heels who are the top heel, but also at the same time are the top selling merchandise, of all time. It's a very weird dynamic. They're in a really strange spot with Roman. I mean, I gotta say, I don't even know. Are you a fan of the Roman Reigns run? I know it's not nothing to do with Raw, but how do you feel about it?
I like Roman Reigns a lot. I think he's super captivating, and anytime he, is on either show, it's like you can't help but to like sit up and pay attention more, just because he has like that presence and whatever, he's Roman Reigns. So his run is fine, I guess, but only half fine. And that's with the Universal. I still want the WWE Championship off of him. Keep his streak with the Universal, I don't care, but you don't need both belts because the other one doesn't do anything for you. You don't have a streak with that belt. You have a streak with the Universal belt. Like, I understand that. And if you want to keep going on that one, for sure, go ahead. But you don't need that other belt. And I don't think that... And so I know a lot of people think that like Raw is suffering without a champion. I don't really think so. I don't think they're suffering. Like, I think they can make do, and their ratings haven't like dropped or anything. I think Raw still has really good ratings and what is the word I'm looking for? Like views. But I just don't want the WWE Championship. I don't think he needs it. But I don't have a problem with this if he went on a long run with Universal, because that's what he has the run on. He doesn't have it on the WWE Championship.
And people forget that. I mean, like,
yeah.
How many hundred, like 500 days of it has nothing to do with the WWE Championship and the streak. Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, I'm on that horse. I've been on that horse for so long. I don't even know what to believe anymore. I just don't.
I will say, though, I did notice this about Roman, and let me know if you agree. He's become a lot more, like, chill in the ring, and like when he's on the mic, and I guess it's been happening for the past, like, few weeks, but I've noticed, like, a change in demeanor for Roman, and I really like it, because he's a little more fun, and he's more chill, and I don't know if that's because, like, it's because Sammy's in the, like, bloodline now, but I don't know. I like how he's not as serious, and he's not so, like, mean face all the time and just, like, standing there like a statue and, like, acknowledge me. He's, like, kind of, more chill and joking around and stuff.
Yeah, he's essentially the version of Brock Lesnar that he brought back without the cowboy hat. I mean, like, he is more laid back, and I actually think that's contributed to some of the positive reaction that he's gotten. And, of course, Sami Zayn, who has been such a nice addition to the whole story. I mean, Sami Zayn, to me, is the GOAT. Well, not the GOAT, the MVP of the last few months of saving that from just being a very just repetitive story of the bloodline coming out and gloating and Paul Heyman speaking, and then they leave. But, yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, Roman Reigns has become more likable. It's just the fact that we're all ready. I think even many of them in the company are ready. And all of us as fans, I'd say the majority, are just ready for somebody else to have an opportunity. I mean, it's been 2 years. At least drop one. I know it was unified at WrestleMania. I don't care how it ununifies. Bring one of the belts to Raw. And let somebody, it's affecting guys' careers. Like, it's not just part of story anymore. Like, you are affecting guys' careers and their ability to main event WrestleMania with a championship on the line, because only one can have that now, and that's Roman versus, whoever. I mean, so, anyway, one last thing I'll ask you. What about, your thoughts on The Rock? Are you of the belief that The Rock versus Roman will happen this year at WrestleMania?
This year?
Yeah, in Hollywood. Very apropos.
I don't know. I would say yes, but, like, where does that leave Bray Wyatt?
That's the other key. I think Bray Wyatt, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like, I mean, I would have, if Bray Wyatt wasn't back right now, I'd be like, oh, yeah, 100%, yeah, probably, like, well, man, not 100%, like, 90%, yeah, for sure, The Rock and Roman, but now Bray Wyatt's back. Maybe it's them. I don't know. Maybe it's them at WrestleMania.
I think that, personally, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I just think that if WWE had their choice, it would obviously be Rock Roman over Bray Roman. But Bray Roman is a nice number two. Given the story, there's a ton of history there that people forget. I mean, this is stuff going back like 7 years of things that they could pull from. I really believe that there's a lot of content there, and that, especially given that Bray lost his championship to Roman 2 years ago at SummerSlam during the pandemic. So I think there's stuff to draw on from there. Anyway, I just wanted your take. I know that it's a very kind of just over-discussed topic, but I haven't heard your thoughts. And, I don't know. I like Rock Roman, just not for the belt. So. Yeah,
I mean, also, another good point with The Rock, though, like, being at WrestleMania, he's done with his movie now, so he doesn't, I don't have his schedule or anything, but you would think now that he's done with the movie, he's a little more free now.
You would imagine, but here's the thing. The guy just purchased the XFL.
What?
He purchased the XFL from Vince year and a half ago. I mean, it was a while ago, after the XFL's relaunch got derailed, mainly because of COVID. So The Rock is working on XFL. And he's got, how many movie offers he's probably got. He's the number one guy in Hollywood. Just because he ended a movie now doesn't mean that he's got, 14 scripts sitting on his desk that he's got to sift through and figure out his filming schedule and when he can do this or that. The guy's plate is always full. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, he's free now. He's free for the next 6 months, right, Rock? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, there's just that sounds good, but in his world, he's always got a zillion things going on. So, I just think that if I was Triple H, I would reach out and say, hey, like, WrestleMania is coming in 5 months, 6 months. We got to know now, and you got to figure out your filming schedule if we're going to make this happen. To me, this is the year that if it doesn't happen now, it's never happening. That's how I feel about it. So,
I will say with The Rock, I knew, like I said, I know you don't watch NXT much, but I need to watch NXT tonight actually after we wrap up. But I saw that The Rock's daughter debuted on NXT tonight.
Ooh.
Ava Raine, yeah, she actually, I know she had been doing some like live matches with NXT, like when they did their tour. Or not matches. I didn't think she went on the mic once, but tonight she like debuted on NXT, like on TV.
Like official.
Like officially, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I gotta go watch it.
I think that may actually, force me to tune in. So I'm interested in that and hearing the crowd reaction and all that. She's got some tough shoes to fill. I mean, yeah, it gets you in the door faster than most, but then you have bigger shoes to fill than most do as well. It's a blessing and a curse. I would not want to be somebody that has a famous father that gets me in the business and now I'm compared to that person forever.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, Charlotte. I mean, yeah, it's that's a tough. I mean, people say she's entitled and she's, she got everything handed. I don't think she got everything handed. She may have been way ahead of everyone to get an opportunity, but she certainly didn't have her dad carry the football down the field. He gave her the football, but she did all the work, the matches, the promos. Charlotte, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlotte, yeah. So,
I didn't mean that by any shade. I fan-wise, I'm obviously not like a huge fan of Charlotte by any means because, I feel like that would be blasphemy towards Becky Lynch. But I am not going to sit here and be like, oh, I hate Charlotte Flair. She's terrible. No, Charlotte Flair is one of the best women's wrestlers and one of the most athletic women wrestlers, and she has absolutely killed it from the start of her career. Let's be clear here. And no, I don't think she got handed anything. I think it helped her. I think it in some ways also didn't help her because, Charlotte, she's always going to have the name and stuff, and she has the entrance music and stuff like that. But no, I would like to believe that even if Ric Flair was not her dad, she would still get into WWE because she is so skilled.
Oh yeah, I mean, she is one of the pillars, one of the major foundational pieces of the women's revolution. Even though she hasn't been here for the last few months since the I Quit match with Ronda, I mean, she was a major part of the women's evolution and revolution, no doubt about it. I mean, she legitimized wrestling, women's wrestling. I want to say single-handedly, but yeah.
I mean, Matt, we agree on a lot of stuff, but I will say, I think our pillars are a little different, and I don't think you would like my pillars of women's. I think you would actually hate them.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That's another podcast, my friend.
Yeah.
We could have a whole topic about that.
I like they have to have 4 pillars because I'm thinking of like 4 posts, right? So like, yeah, I mean, like, let's save that because that's a much more deep discussion. Sure, but yeah, that's interesting. Okay, cool. All right. Well, before we go, any wrap-up thoughts? Any final thoughts from the show that you experienced? Anything?
Final thoughts would be like, if I was at home watching this Raw, to be honest, I would be like, I watched it. Nothing was like super exciting or anything. And if I was at home, nothing really completely stood out to me if I watched it at home. But I mean, to anyone who's been to a show, like, when it's such a special thing, like being a wrestling fan and being in the building with just like the people that you watch on a weekly basis, like, and you're in the building with them, watching them do what you love watching them do. It's super special. So like, if I was at home, meh. But since I was there it was great. It was fun. I don't think you can ever go to a show and leave the show and be like, that was all right. It's always going to be, they put on the best production, lighting, music, the wrestlers. It's all just, it's an experience. And I mean, I tell everyone this, like even people who aren't fans of WWE, if you haven't been to a show, go to one. It's worth it. You can grab a beer if you're of age. Sit down and enjoy the entertainment that's in front. It's entertaining. So it's a great experience. And like overall, it's always fun to be in person at a show.
The in-person experience is like nothing else. And sure, there are shows that are way better than other shows. And, but I actually, that's for me also holds true where I've been to dozens of events and I've never come across or left an event feeling like, wow, that was a total waste of my money.
Yeah.
I've been disappointed leaving shows like, that a certain person didn't show up or return or, whatever, because everybody, anytime you go to a live show, for some reason you feel like, that you should see a major return, or you try to justify why somebody could come back, or this big thing should happen, and I get that, but I also know that, as a wrestling fan, the more you watch, the more realistic expectations you have. And when you go to a live event, it's a different experience because you're there. You get to see, like you said, what you love in person, and it just adds to that emotion. And at home, I agree. Sitting at home watching this and not in attendance, to me, this was it was an okay Raw. Like it was okay. It was okay to slightly good. You had some progressions. You had Dominic do his thing. You had Nikki return and change her character what it should have been. Like you had some things, but I wouldn't go and be like, wow, this is Raw. I'm gonna remember forever. It's not.
And I mean, like also on that, it's not the best show I've ever been to, right? Like the first Raw I went to was in like Greenville, South Carolina. We were opposite of the camera, and it was when, this is going to take y'all way back, when Bobby, Seth, KO, and Big E did a 4-way. And we had great seats in the middle, like directly in the middle of the ring, like looking down the ring. And then they came into the crowd and KO jumped off one of the entrances onto Seth and Big E and Bobby, like 2 inches away from us. Like nothing probably will ever beat that, but it's still a show, and I still went, and it was still fun.
Yeah, nobody does entertainment like WWE. I mean, they have entertainment in their damn name. That's the thing. And I think with now Triple H in charge, you have somebody that actually makes it feel like anything could happen. With the returns he's brought back, the different production tweaks he's made, the different matchups, the shaking things up of the main event, not having the same faces there. He's done some really nice things that actually make you feel excited again about WWE, and that's always a positive, because for a while it was kind of, what you're going to get with Vince, and very few surprises. And I think now it's much different now that you have a new brain that's going to be in charge of creative here. So, all right, well, Grace, thank you so much for joining us. Did you want to share any social media or anything like that if people want to get in touch with you?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter at EvolutionaryWP. I post a bunch of wrestling stuff, mostly women's wrestling stuff. And, you can reach out to me on there if you want. You can follow me, like my stuff, retweet it, whatever you want to do.
Well, very good. You guys check that out, and I'm sure we'll be doing this again very soon, as we have some ideas that are brewing that we'll maybe share with you guys at some point. But thanks so much, Grace. It's been a blast, and go watch some NXT for us.
Thanks for having me. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.